Hey Rachel, how you doing? Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Come on in, come on in. Not the cancer slander. What's up, Tuli? And I am doing pretty well. Pretty well. I can't complain. Not too bad for a Wednesday night. Come on, Maya. Period. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Lilith. Yes, come on in the room. And make sure you hit the like button on your way in, like Andre said. Hey, Angela. La la la, love. So I hope everybody is having a really good week. Okay, hope your spirits are high because there's a lot of fuck shit going on in the atmosphere. So yeah, and I debated on whether I should do this reading on Patreon or over here, but you know, it's really juicy, and there are a lot of different layers to this whole Derrick Jackson situation. So, as I'm sure you may know, Derrick Jackson, who is what is he, like a relationship guru, relationship coach. A lot of people know him for his YouTube videos where he's driving to and fro in a vehicle with a too little ass shirt on, and he's giving relationship advice, and he's telling women what they deserve, right? Ladies, you deserve better than that. You deserve a man who's gonna love you and treat you right. If a man doesn't meet your standards, you need to leave, because a man who wants you will rise to the okay. You know, he be doing all of that. I mean, it's cool, it's cute. I've seen his videos kind of like in passing, and I watched a couple before, but I remember having the thought in my brain like, okay, he's pandering clearly, but you know, so it wasn't really my cup of tea. But come to find out, per Tasha K and her exclusive, she had a interview. I think she interviewed at least two of his side chicks at this point, a couple of them, I guess, and allegedly they came out and was like, yeah, we slept with Derrick Jackson. I had a whole affair with Derrick Jackson. Allegedly, he had his own home. Okay, a separate home from his wife, a condo. He had been telling women they were divorced, right? Or no, separated. I'm sorry, excuse me. Me and my wife are separated. The good old separated line, right? That niggas say all the time. So he's been put on blast just because of how blatantly these things contradict his platform and who he's, portrayed himself to be thus far. He's been very vocal in terms of like calling out other men, right? Especially when they cheat. He's been very vocal about cheaters and, what women deserve and how men should be held accountable. And so just ironically now, he's receiving a lot of scrutiny for being a cheater. And the video, did y'all see the video that he did? Did y'all see the video that he made in response where he was referring to himself in third person? That shit was kind of weird. Not gonna lie. He kind of got me there. I was like, oh, this nigga's crazy as fuck, for real. Because, very effortlessly, he looked dead in the camera and said, yeah, some people are going to decide to ride with Derrick. Some people don't want to ride with Derrick. But some people are going to look at this as an opportunity for him to catapult himself and grow and build. And actually, he has a book talking about this. So click the link in the bio. Click the link below to get 50% off of the book. I'm like, this nigga selling shit. He referring to himself in third person. somebody like, stay right there. The police are on their way. This nigga is a danger to society. It was giving me psychotic teens. Let me take a look at the comments right quick before we get started. So if y'all are just now joining, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. Okay, we are discussing Mr. Derrick Jackson. So I'm going to be doing a natal chart reading for him. I was able to get my hands on his wife's information as well. And y'all, it's juicy. I'm not gonna lie. Tonight's a juicy read. It's a juicy read. So y'all come on in the room, get those likes up, and we'll start. Get those likes up. Don't be here just watching me. Your spirit is in the ninth circle, not the ninth circle of hell. You never subscribe to his channel and watch his videos. Good. But you know he's still gonna have a following, unfortunately. Because he speaks to like that very desperate subset of Black women. I hate them type of videos, attention seeking ass niggas. Yeah, he would try very hard. It was apparent. Never trust a man with ashy lips and a wrinkled shirt. Her Instagram captions are alarming. We're gonna touch on those too. Men that have that stupid face always lame and corny. That poor woman is brainwashed. His wife talking about she was hyper focused on other women's pussy juices and how talented they were. We're gonna get into all of those things. Y'all get the likes up, and we're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna talk about all of that. Ear hustlers and subscribers, hit the like button. That part. Thumbs up are free 99. Hey Marilyn. It has been a long time. I hope you're doing well. What's up, Candace? Blair. I feel like they're trolling. That's how weird they're acting. It's pretty weird. I feel bad, really bad for her. Self-esteem non-existent. Facts. Get those likes up, people, and we will start. I need at least 30 likes. And we'll start. And so let me get his chart up because I'll actually show it. Share my screen. Give me a second. Okay. But this shit was pretty crazy though. Y'all hit that like button for me. When we get to 30 likes, we'll go ahead and start. Y'all saw the IG? Yeah, I saw the IG post from the wife. That shit was pretty weird. Right? She even stated she disliked dark skin. She did. Black love. Black love is struggle love. I hate to say it. For a lot of people. Unfortunately. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but a lot of, maybe I should say a lot of Black people feel like Black love is struggle love. Let me put it that way. Black love should not be struggle love, but a lot of people feel that it is. And let me see. Stop sharing. Let me see if I can enlarge or pull up the chart here and enlarge it. Give me a second. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this. Why won't it let me? Interesting. Give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to pull up his chart real quick and enlarge it. I'm using new software, by the way, just in case if you haven't noticed. So kind of new. I'm excited, but trying to figure out how to share the actual chart though. Because like, what is really going on here? I wonder if it'll let me do this. Let me try it again. Share screen. Okay. Give me just a second, y'all. We're making it work. Okay, so it'll show that, but not. He not once mentioned he loves her or cares about her. I mean, facts. Big facts. How do I get? I'm trying to enlarge it, Lord. Okay, whatever. Until I figure out how to do that, I'm gonna just go ahead and start. Let me see where we at with the likes. Okay, so some very interesting things, some very interesting observations have been made. Now, Derrick Jackson was actually born July 20th, 1989 in Alabama. The city, I'm not quite sure. I wasn't able to find an exact city, so I put in Montgomery as a placeholder. If y'all know any differently, feel free to drop down in the comment section. I doubt that it will change much as in regards to his chart, but feel free to make it known if you care to, right? And so, of course, to address Thule, he is absolutely a Cancer sun, which made all of the sense in the world to me because of, I mean, Cancer is literally the womanizer of the zodiac. And so not to be slanderous about that Cancer energy, but we got to call it for what it is. Because he's clearly an unevolved Cancer. And a lot of Cancer males have that. And even when you look at a celebrity level, at some other examples that really drive this point home, like Kevin Hart, 50 Cent, right? Cancer men are men, especially if their relationship with the mother is afflicted or, something like that. A lot of them, they feel like they know women inside and out. That's a part of the issue. This actually also has a lot to do with him centering his whole career around, being this type of person who gives women advice, right? You got to look at your son as your claim to fame, what you're known for, what gets you famous, how you get popular. So he's a Cancer sun, Leo moon, or excuse me, Leo South Node, excuse me. And that Leo South Node and Cancer sun directly kind of tie into each other because he has built this persona as this relationship guru, right? This go-to guy for women, and you know what I'm saying. So he thinks that's really the crux of it. He thinks he knows women a lot more than he probably does, which is why he kind of appoints himself and puts himself in the position to do what he does for a living. But Cancer men can definitely be the most dangerous type of men. They're dark-sided. They are very much all about, I mean, they can run through women. These are men who could be pimps, to be honest. some people, I mean, my mentor also refers to them as the pimps of the zodiac. So, even the fact that he is a cheater, right? A womanizer, very on brand with the Cancer. You could also look at that Cancer sun as him building a brand also of pandering to women. And with his son, I mean, he actually also has his Chiron. It's not conjunct his sun, but it is at the 10th degree of Cancer, which could create a lot of I guess you could say, inauthentic ness, or what however you want to say it, right? It can make him very inauthentic in his delivery. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, in his approach and how he handles women. And the fact that, like, okay, yeah, you're this pro woman type of nigga, but with that Chiron, especially at the 10th degree of Cancer, you faking it. You know what I'm saying? That number 10 reduces the one. The number one is very performative. It's a show. Chiron deals with things that are not quite right. It's some in the buttermilk not clean. Like, you're not really who you claim to be. Right? So it could also deal with him being very sneaky. Cancer in general is a very sneaky sign. It's a very private sign. So if once again, very unevolved, these are men who can be extremely sneaky, which creates the perfect recipe for having women all over the place. In fact, with that Cancer energy, these are niggas who can have whole families laying around somewhere for all the fuck we know. And it don't help that he's a Leo South Node. It definitely doesn't help that he's a Leo South Node. Leo deals with children. It also deals with love and romance, and so it gets messy. His Chiron also happens to be formed in opposition to his Neptune, which makes him, it's actually he has a lot of narcissistic, and I hate using this word because I do feel like the internet they overdo it. The internet overdoes it. People diagnose everyone as a narcissist, right? So I don't really like using that word like that, but I just got to be honest. He has a lot of different narcissistic spectrum type of aspects, and one of those being the Chiron in opposition to Neptune. So thank you for the super chat, Sally. So it's you said, and the females are pimps. They pimps favorite. Yeah, because they can be bottom bitches. But yeah, with his Chiron in opposition to Neptune, this deals with him once again being sneaky, a con artist, cheating. It could deal with him, like I said, having an entire life on the side. Very interesting thing about this aspect too is it's one of those aspects that could even deal with a dude who has very weird hangups and fetishes with women. Okay. And one of those things could be recording oneself. He has a couple of different aspects that could support that. And what's so funny is I kind of skipped around and watched some of the Tasha K interview and just kind of been, listening around and looking around. And a lot of people were saying that that's actually, I think that's how the wife discovered he cheated or something like that. Like, she went through his phone, or he would record himself having sex with women. That's very Chiron in opposition to Neptune. That Cancer Chiron in opposition to Neptune. Because even with his Chiron at the 10th degree, that number 10 is very exhibitionist driven, right? So you can even look at this as a person who wants to show off, like that's very narcissistic in itself. Like, I want a lot of narcissists and niggas like that. They like to have trophies for what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I cheated, whatever. I walked there, I got the panties, I got the video of it, and they just kind of collect those things. He also has his Mercury contraparallel to Neptune. That could also make him a liar, big time liar, also big time narcissist. He got his Venus sesqui-square to Neptune. Once again, liar, fucking with other women all day long. He has his Venus, and I also meant to mention too, his Venus is at the 25th degree of Leo. He has a Leo stellium, and we're gonna unpack that in a minute. And that definitely doesn't help. Leo is absolutely prone to cheating. It's actually one of the bigger cheaters of the zodiac. But he has his Venus, like I said, sesqui-square to Neptune. So that also amplifies that. It could also deal with having secret affairs, right? Then his Venus is semi-square, forming a semi-square to his Chiron, where it could actually point to where he feels entitled to women, where, I mean, it obviously points towards a dysfunctional relationship with women where he could view them as weak, and he kind of feels like he's owed these things. He's owed extramarital affairs, or he's owed a certain kind of interaction or level of engagement with women. He's owed that, according to him. Then he has that loaded south node with his Leo Venus conjunct Mars, as well as that south node. So lots of karma through romantic relationships once again. So the irony that I've noticed this a lot, like a lot of Leo south nodes want to give relationship advice because from a karmic perspective, that's where you are, right? That's who these people are, very almost similar to Libra south nodes, but from the standpoint in like these people are like they love, or that's usually the women. Or for the guys with Leo south nodes, they could be the type to, either be hypersexual. It doesn't help with his Venus and Mars conjunct that south node as well. He's hypersexual, and by the way, sidebar, his Mars is opposing his Aquarius north node and conjunct his moon. He's an Aquarius moon. So 9 times out of 10, he's not getting this from his wife, or his wife doesn't turn him on. This aspect could actually create a scenario where like the wife gives him like a limp dick. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't do it for him. It's a passion-free marriage. Almost even if you will, a transactional kind of marriage, where she might even be the type to be willing to be honest with you guys. I think she knows. I think she's always known what he's done. I think that it's just it's under a different type of scrutiny because of it's public, right? He's facing a career scandal, a marketing scandal, which is also very Leo. Leo is the sign of marketing. So his son, or excuse me, not his son, his south node, right? That south node conjunct Venus and Mars in Leo can create, I mean, these people, once again, his brand, it could deal with him marketing himself as this type of relationship guru, a man who really knows women. But even when you think about that Venus conjunct Mars and Leo, that's a womanizer. And it creates this scenario to where it was so easy for him to speak to the essence of a man, right? Speak on the behalf of men, because Leo is the sign of manhood. Leo is a sign of manhood. It's a sign of masculinity. So from, he's, even though he's a Cancer sun, he has a lot of masculine energy, and it creates a lot of testosterone, especially with Mars conjunct his south node. These men have a lot of testosterone. They could be really into sports, which if I'm not mistaken, he was. I mean, look at him. The nigga beefy as hell, swole as hell. But it also creates a need to conquer, right? It creates a need to, conquer things and women, so to speak. And they have a lot of stamina. They have a lot of sexual energy. He's a very sexually driven type of dude. And he's not going to be able to get all his needs met with his wife, especially considering he's not that attracted to her. That's also reinforced with that moon in opposition, that Aquarius moon opposing his Venus. That's either a passionless marriage. You could also look at that as them not even living together. And something else that came up when I watched that Tasha K video, after the fact, mind you, after I looked at his chart initially, she was saying, or one of the girls was saying, well, he had a condo. He had a separate condo and somewhere in Midtown Atlanta, away from his wife, like separate from the home that he lived in with his wife. So that's exactly how that opposition played out. That's exactly how it played out. To my point, she may be uncomfortable with it, and we'll get into her chart next in terms of her psychology and why she is the way she is. But she's known. Like this relationship is not what we think it probably is. It's just not. Also, you can look at that loaded South Node as, like I said, him feeling like he gets to give out advice on relationships. And like I was saying before, a lot of Leo South Nodes feel compelled. They feel like they got the rights to give out relationship advice, and they be the worst ones. I was saying that in my Akbar V video that I did a reading on her on Patreon, because I don't know if you guys are following her on Instagram, but she does these segments where she does our relationship advice, and it be some of the craziest advice. Even when she describes her disposition on relationships, yeah, the man, you need to hold your nigga down. Very struggle love, very mule, very pick me, very, you know what I mean? And a lot of Leo prominent women are like that, very male identified. Giving the worst advice, girl. You're giving me the worst fucking advice. Venus is also the planet of advice too. So the fact that his Venus is in Leo and conjunct Mars, and you can look at that literally as him feeling like I'm giving you guys advice, but it's like, keep it, keep it. Another manifestation of that loaded Leo South Node for him as well is lying. And this is a lesser known shadow trait of Leo, but they can be compulsive liars. And it doesn't help that his Mercury is actually at the 0 degree of Leo as well. Okay. And once again, it's contraparallel to Neptune. It could deal with him being just almost even like delusional, where he disassociates. Y'all remember him referring to himself in third person, where he, in his mind's eye, he can literally separate himself from his own actions. Good night, Andre. So he something's wrong with him. He's not wrapped too tight either. Also, you could look at that South Node as him putting on a performance. Okay. That loaded Leo South Node, he's putting on a grand performance. Leo is the performer. They want attention. He can be a lot of Leos are attention seeking. The women like to seek male attention, and he likes to seek attention from women. Maybe men too. Especially with that Venus conjunct Mars and opposing his Aquarius moon. That's something else I get. He might be a little fruit of the loom, which is cool too. Hey, one love wins. But the nigga's married, so that might be a problem. It could deal with him being thirsty for attention. These niggas need their ego stroked and validated. And mind you, Leo's ruled by the sun, right? His sun is in Cancer, so guess who he needs that validation from? Women. Women. Not to mention that's another like really heavy narcissistic placement. I've seen pictures of him walking around with his shirt off. You know what I'm saying? Taking pictures like who husband take pictures like that? Shawty told Slime to take. That's what she should have told his ass. And it can make him very abusive too. I'm glad you mentioned that, Alicia. It can make him, yes, allegedly, Scorpio forever. And his wife being weird as fuck, that's also a manifestation of that Aquarius moon conjunct his North Node. She's strange. But it could also even deal with her just being the type to be like, I'm in it for what I can get too. Which is another reason why I said y'all don't, a lot of people, that it's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. Also, like I said, put on a performance, exaggerating, compulsive liar. Oh, and like I said, although he's a Cancer sun, that loaded Leo South Node gives him a lot of testosterone. Lots of testosterone. I actually even think that this could be a ploy. His image and his persona is a ploy to pick up women, which also makes sense, especially with him being an Aquarius moon and having it conjunct his North Node, because a lot of the women who have come forward have said that they met him on the internet. That's very Aquarius. I mean, that also literally deals with him being like a figure, or a public figure on the internet as well, right? A social media influencer. Then he has his Jupiter and Gemini trine in that North Node, so you could look at that as him always filming from his car, that kind of thing. Also, having that Aquarius moon conjunct his North Node could deal with him being tyrannical, okay? Or, you can also even look at that as reaffirming that he kind of has this level of control or domination over his wife. I always needing, or being the type to always need somebody to go along with their plans. Otherwise, he could be a bully. Also reinforces his moon in opposition to that Mars. This is also a very abusive aspect as well. These men, and that's another reason why she plays such a submissive role. A lot of Leo dominant men, because of all that testosterone, they want to be treated kingly. They can be very, if y'all seen some of my videos on the biggest or the most misogynistic signs of the zodiac, Leo is top tier, right? So a lot of these men want to feel powerful. They want women who submit. And if they don't feel like you're respecting their manhood, if they don't feel like you are in a level of submission that they're comfortable with, they might just beat your ass. They might just try to, because Leo is all about intimidation. They might try to, make you submit to their will. They can be very willful, very, very willful men. Also very prideful, which is another reason why I doubt he will ever just come clean and say things for what the fuck it is, right? He's just not going to do that. Leo likes positive attention. They can't handle negative attention, which is why this scandal, right? This whole situation is getting the best of him. Or the controversy. You could look at that Aquarius moon, right, opposing his Venus and Mars. It's controversy involving women, him dealing with outside women, strays. Also his Venus conjunct Mars can make him very fickle and temperamental. That's another aspect that can deal with a very violent or just a very fickle ass dude in relationships. You know what I'm saying? He could even be very childish in how he acts, playing games. He also, with that moon in opposition to Venus, also meant to say that could obviously also deal with other women coming in, attractive women who maybe even want to break up the marriage. Although, obviously the responsibility ultimately falls on him. But you could even look at that as like women, coming out the woodwork. Same thing with his Jupiter in opposition to Uranus. Coming out the woodwork. He has his Mercury at that 0 degree of Leo forming the quincunx to his Uranus. So this also deals with him having the need to show off, which could be something else that led to him recording himself having sex, right? Where he kind of talks himself into these entanglements. It could also make him very entitled. That's another manifestation of that Aquarius moon conjunct his North Node as well, where he feels like his wife is just there to be there, and she's always going to be there. So almost like, it also kind of even speaks to, especially in opposition to that Lotus South Node, where he feels like he's owed different women. You're entitled to all of these things. Have your cake and eat it too. And your wife ain't going to do shit about it. You know what I mean? And like I said, the reason why I think she's not is because she's already kind of, either she is, or maybe at some point she will come to like, rationalization in terms of like, okay, well, I'm going to just kind of, this marriage is going to be more what I can get from it. That's very Aquarius based. Those are very Aquarius based relationships, right? With that moon conjunct his North, that Aquarius North Node, where they like, he and his wife are just almost even friends, honestly, or where it could just be kind of like platonic and like I said, just lifeless. Weird. I mean, Aquarius is weird. Very weird. Also, okay, he has his Saturn conjunct Uranus, which, I mean, in and of itself can deal with him having a heavily guarded reputation, but it also sets him up for lots of karma, more so, or especially So any people who move with less than a sense of like firm integrity, they're liable to get, they're liable to have their karma expedited. Same thing with like Saturn and Pisces. He has his Lilith and this is one of the rare instances where I think Lilith matters, because it could deal with like your shadow nature, and it says a lot about your sexuality. He has his Lilith at the 18th degree of Libra, which in and of itself can bring about three-way love affairs. It could deal with him, once again, reinforcing that ladies' man kind of thing. The number 18 is also hypersexual, so it reinforces this theme of like, just being very sexually charged, and just deals with him being the type of person to be indecisive in relationships. He might even have literal whole relationships with women, not just these one-offs. I'm talking about full-fledged relationships where he's going back and forth. You know what I mean? He has his and also too, where he likes women a certain way, and if they kind of, if they're not really what he wants them to be, he can change his mind at the flip the switch of a hat. You know what I'm saying? So he, with this woman, with that woman, he back with his wife, now he not with his wife, now he, these are men who could string a lot of women on in the process. Okay. But also like do it like, in a way where it's not necessarily wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Like I said, they'll be lover boys, like with these chicks. He has his asteroid Nemesis. Nemesis also deals with your Achilles heel, at the 22nd degree of Scorpio, and is swearing his Venus, his moon, his nose. Once again, him being controlled by his lustful nature. Can't resist the forbidden fruit. Temptation is calling your name. So there's that. He has the asteroid Cassandra, which deals with not taking your own advice. Okay, it's actually contraparallel his Venus, which deals with him being a hypocrite, phony with relationship advice. Once again, right? Especially when it comes to women. His asteroid Icarus, which can deal with overconfidence, is at the 28th degree of Gemini and conjunct his Jupiter, opposing Uranus. Once again, him talking too motherfucking much. Talking too much. And Icarus deals with where you're overly confident in something, where you almost kind of Jupiter in nature, where you overextend yourself to your own detriment, right? Where you put too much dip on your chip, and it can really lead to your downfall. So this is where he overextended himself. You could even look at this as like the reason why he got in trouble in the first place. Nigga, you talk too much. You draw too much attention towards yourself. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, especially with opposition to Uranus, he would be everywhere on social media. Y'all would see him in the comments on the Shade Room. Every time you look up, and these people are super opinionated. So you look up, he telling his thoughts and ideas on something, preaching. Yeah, so you supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Self-righteous, but speaking out of both sides of his mouth. That's what he fucked up at. That's ultimately that was the catalyst to his downfall. Okay. The first house. I don't trust people always recording shit from the car. With a whole family, your ass stay in the car. He has Hebe. Hebe is an asteroid that can deal with children, but it could also even deal with where you stroke your own ego, okay, or where somebody is pandering. It's at the 0 degree of Virgo, and it's conjunct his Venus. Pandering to women, studying women. So he studied women in real time. So once again, he thinks he knows women. His asteroid Bacchus, Bacchus, which deals with addiction and excess, refusing to admit you have a problem, excuses, denial. It's at the 7th degree of Virgo. Thank you, Erica. You saw the hypocrite in him from the first video. You saw, girl, the nigga's a mess. Okay, where he could be in strong denial about a lot of his hypocrisy. His asteroid Eros is at the 8th degree of Libra. Eros, however you want to say it, is an asteroid that can point towards a lot of your sexual desires. Okay. It's also in the sign of Libra. Like I said, 8th degree of Libra. It could deal with him having the grass is always greener mentality, lusting after other women, comparing his partner to other women, which is very interesting. That's a common theme. Very common theme, because she even spoke on comparing herself to other women too. And that probably is, there's a reason for that in her chart that we'll discuss. But it also, and I think I'll do that on Patreon. We'll focus on him tonight. But yeah, for as far as him, I think he kind of implanted that in her head, right? He implanted that in her head. So maybe it could have been something that he said, something that he did to make her feel like that she has to compare herself to the other women. And you know that number 8 is very critical. It's very scrutinizing. Very scrutinizing. It's not an app. It's Solar Fire. It's astrology software. You have to pay for it. I just bought it. I think it was $360, $370. It's very expensive, but it's a really great investment for, like, I would recommend this for people who are looking to do astrology professionally. If you're not like a professional, I mean, you could have it, but it probably wouldn't be worth it to somebody who wasn't. But there are a lot of apps that I've been using for a very long time, like free apps where you can create your own charts as well, though. Astro Charts, one of my favorites. The male YouTubers that give that advice rubbing their hands like burn me. I wouldn't be surprised if he watches women in front of his wife. Probably. So yeah, there's that. And then he also has asteroid Cupido, which is so funny because literally the meaning of Cupido is the look of love without love, or is what is the saying that a lot of people use when describing that asteroid. And it's at the 15th degree of Libra. Once again, that Libra energy. It deals with, once again, him not being attracted to his wife from the standpoint of him always having a roaming eye. But also maybe him being in a marriage where he's only concerned with his image, where he's only concerned with keeping up an image. He also has Diana, which is an asteroid that can deal with where a person craves freedom at the 15th degree of Gemini. So once again, where one woman can't satisfy him, where he needs a variety of different women. Okay, this could also even deal with why he has such a vast taste in women. If you look at his wife and look at all the women he's fucked with, they all different. And then he has Vesta at the 29th degree of Sag. Vesta deals with areas of service, but it could also even point towards like slavery, where you're trapped in servitude. And at that 29th degree of Sag, once again, he's a slave to his sexual impulses. It could point towards him being greedy. Never too much, never too much, never too much. It's a lot. So I'm gonna hop off in this comment section. And once again, if you are just now joining me, be sure to hit that thumbs up for me. Right, how you gonna preach something but don't practice what you preach? Casey says, Derrick Jackson been a fake. Bro was playing an act this entire time. That's very Leo South Node. It's Venus conjunct Mars and that Leo South Node. Once again, it's performative. His eyes are so ugly, like something is missing, but his eyes are, yeah. He's not that cute to me either. Like I get it. Like I could see the appeal. how he's like that tall, dark, handsome, swole, you know what I'm saying? But he don't really do it for me. And he's the type that probably work off just so he can work around with his shirt off and show off and impress women. Leo North, no, you don't like giving advice or seeking attention. Maybe sometimes instead, I just like being cool and chill with other people. Cancer rising also makes a lot of sense. He got that hug vibe, like he would just whoop your ass. He's a Cancer too, so I'm not surprised. Cancer men can be too fucking much. Don't do hug. She don't have to leave to be one. Men and women do it all the time in marriages. He sounds tired. Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna keep coming, and he knows how to brand himself. Like I said, that's very Leo South Node. And if y'all notice, he even came out was like, yeah, I'm selling a book. You could also even look at that as that Jupiter at the 27th degree, or is it the 28th? It's the 27th. It's the 27th degree of Gemini. Trining his North Node, where he's selling these books, promoting these books, and yeah. Where he is selling these books. Honestly, I see him being successful. Then it's sextiling his Mars, where he's giving dating advice once again in these books. But I see it being promising because he also has Venus sextiling Jupiter. He's making money. And he's probably investing his money in a lot of ways too. So watching his sex tapes. We're gonna get into her. Like I said, join my Patreon if you haven't already. I'm gonna do an upload on her chart because I got a hold of her information. Hers was actually more disturbing than his, if that's possible. The cake he's eating must be nasty. What cake? Her pussy was soaking wet in her sounds. Yeah, Shorty was. It was a lot. Aretha Franklin. Yeah, I can. Yeah, she had a lot going on. One thing I do know off rip, she was a Cancer ascendant, and I mean not Cancer ascendant, a Scorpio ascendant. A lot of not all Scorpio ascendants are supposed to have tragic lives, so to speak, but like a lot of them can go through a lot of like life altering experiences surrounding sex, death, so on and so forth, or just situations involving other people in general. Third person shit bizarre as fuck. I hate how his head is small, too small for his body. Would Lilith matter if it was in your first house? Not necessarily. Not really. It just means you would probably identify more with those traits than the average person would, but he likes fruit everywhere. I don't be trusting people. Oh yeah, I read that one already. David Dubrick or that black guy cheating wife. If they around while they in that car, they lying. Cancer study people. They are always watching someone. The Cancer I was always watching me. Cancers can be stalkers. Cancer is actually one of the lesser known signs of a stalker. These are people who, especially like let's say if y'all broke up, they have a hard time letting go of people. It's the attachment thing. And it could drive them to some really dark places. I wouldn't be surprised if he watches women in front of his wife. The male YouTubers that give dating advice, baby, I read those. You like Astro Chart? Situation regarding flights, reacts ex-girlfriend who refused to leave when he wanted to break up with her. Started acting volatile. Who is that? I know nothing of the sort. His wife doesn't need lifting up. She needs a psychiatrist, and that's on her. High school sweethearts. Interesting. Please look at tech comment. I know you be in the streets. Tech comment. Put some respect on Larry the Lobster. Yeah, you could tell why he works out. Yeah, the attention. He eats it up. He loves it. He loves it. Leo is also one of those super playboy signs too. Playboy. So if these men have access and resources, they could absolutely. I mean, they could be some of the biggest cheaters ever. Right, had her ass on the video with the bonnet. Yeah, then he has his son Quincunx at North Node. It's giving very afflicted. Like he's emotionally, it's almost like you're in a relationship but you're checked out. You can't really let go, or maybe even in his case with their loaded South Node, maybe he don't want nobody else to have her. He feels like he can always have access to her. He don't really feel like he gotta not be with her. But she just don't do it for him. Why don't people ever talk about how cancer can be so dangerous? Anyone can be dangerous, but they have the victim mentality to a T. Cancer can be dangerous because cancers, a lot of dark sided cancers can be, I mean, they, if afflicted, they can really lack control over their emotions. They can be very emotionally, you know, immature, which can be dangerous. They're also very fear based. And a lot of times they can respond based off of fight or flight, which is something that they actually have in common with Aries. And y'all know how that go. So she's not a Cancer. She's actually a Sagittarius. I'll give y'all that much. And I initially I was like, Sagittarius, what the fuck? But it actually explained a lot. Number one, y'all peep how religious she was talking. She's a religious Sag to the T. Sagittarius is governed by Jupiter. Jupiter is literally the planet of religion. But what happens is, for a lot of people, myself included, a lot of Sagittarius, a lot of us, and it also depends on other factors in your chart, but a lot of us could actually be more so spiritual. You got the more spiritual type of Sagittarius, but you got the staunchly religious. I mean, Sagittarius can be some of the biggest fundamentalists ever when it comes to organized religion. Straight preachy. Oh, just 20 on 10. And every time she opened her mouth, the enemy was sent here to kill and destroy. The enemy wants my marriage. But I'm telling you, I'm walking and I'm covered with the armor of Jesus. I said, okay. When she said like I gave her a little pass the first two times, but when we got to like 3 and 4, like it was kind of weird. It was weird. The breastplate of righteousness. they can be very self-righteous, just very and she's a Sagittarius Mars as well. Like I said, I'll give those two places up top. So they have to her sense of identity, who she is tied up in Christ. And that's how she processes information. That's how these people process the world around them. They kind of have to. A lot of them feel very strong, feel very compelled or very, very they gravitate towards religion to help them make sense of their lives, especially because in a lot of respects, their lives can be really fucked up or very just off kilter in a way. These are people who may have been irresponsible in their past. Shit, she might have been as homely as she looks right now. She might have been, there may have been a point in the marriage where she might have been off the chain. I wouldn't necessarily say to the extent where he is, but you know what I'm saying? These women can either be really wild, or if she's not, she can be the type to repress that part of herself. And once again, religion is a really main way. It plays a key role in how these people do that. They use religion, they use doctrine, they use all that shit to kind of suppress because Sagittarius it's a beast. Sagittarius is half beast, half human, nigga. They are wild. So that's why I was like, this is not no regular Sagittarius woman. She's the type that hides she hides behind religion. And that's why it has that brainwashing effect. It comes out very strange. Very obnoxious. These very religious people are mentally ill. Facts. Facts. Yeah, Tina Turner. Excuse me, guys. Tina Turner is a wild Sagittarius, and that's another. And once again, it does not validate. I am dead set against niggas hitting on women, no matter how you want to slice it and dice it. But the what love got to do with it kind of depiction she portrayed herself to be, I'm not buying it. Because I was looking at her chart the other day. Shorty is an Aries South Node. Come on. She has some other placements in there, but even with her being a Sag, like you only taking that shit but so long. I mean, of course, that dealt with her fighting back, right? Maybe when she busted up the strength to hit that nigga back in the limo. But what she didn't show y'all was that it was times where she socked that nigga in the face first. Does not justify anything he's done to her, because that nigga did some horrible shit. But she was definitely wild. Yes, like the video, guys. Like the video. We got almost 100 peeps up in here. Get those likes up, likes up. Her eye was pimping women together. Documentary on HBO. Who? She looks like she'd be a bad bitch if she was another type of woman. The wife, Derrick's wife, she's a cute girl to me. She's really cute. They were both Sages. No, Ike was a Scorpio, which that's a fucking recipe for disaster. He was a Scorpio, she was a Sag sign. Scorpio men can be very cruel. And very abusive. I'm a Gemini sun, Sag moon, and rising. Okay. Ike was a Scorpio, right? I'm ashamed of him. Yeah, he was a Scorpio. Aries sun, Sag moon. So, May, you saying she the type to feel inspired if a leaf fall and take that as a sign from God? That type of, nah, for real. Nah, but I'm dead ass. Oh, the good Lord Jesus bless me today with the leaf. The trees of life sprout from the well. from the well of the Lord. And in Psalms chapter 300, verse 12, Jesus said, let the righteous be entitled to the leaves. Tina Turner was nothing but ready to fight. Facts. Tina Turner is coming out with so it's Tina Turner's documentary. In that case, I guess I will be watching. That sounds pretty interesting. Scorpios, the women beaters of the zodiac. They one of them. She looked pretty in there with her. She's a pretty girl, period. So it's another reason why it's painful to look at her be like this. Get those likes up, y'all. Get those likes up for me. It helps a lot with the algorithm. So, it really doesn't cost you a thing. And I greatly appreciate it. Sag man with a Scorpio, Mercury, and Mars, that could be a big troublemaker. Big troublemaker. There's a documentary about Roman Polanski. Who's that again? Refund checks for all that fake. No, he's still going to be very successful. Know that. He's still going to have his following and his success, and don't think for a second this is over. Yes, he's getting a lot of bad press right now, but once the smoke settles and people get over it, he's not gonna hurt over that long time. It's a lot of desperate women he can play off of. Never underestimate that. Never underestimate that. Yeah, then he has his son conjunct that Mercury in Leo. That's also him giving the relationship advice, him feeling emboldened to talk that shit to women. Then he has his son at the 27th degree. Oh yeah, he's a hothead. But that could also deal with him being an athlete too. But it also deals with him being completely selfish and inconsiderate. He received $100. Yeah, folks, he getting a lot of attention, and that's why cancel culture don't exist, because attention is attention, and that's another thing too with that Leo energy. Leos, like I said, like to be viewed in a positive way, but as an Aquarius North Node, anytime he tries too hard to manufacture a certain type of reputation for himself, he's going to, create a controversy. That's all a part of that Aquarius moon conjunct his North Node. Controversy, where you become infamous and polarizing, but he still has a very promising career doing what he does. He really does. I'm right-handed. He was known for spitting on staff, stole someone's bike, and when confronted, he victimized himself. Choked himself. Seemed like the man he stole the bike from attack. What? Yeah, that's crazy. What the fuck? So yeah. Am I still taking donations? Always. I'm always graciously accepting charitable donations. Got to keep the lights on over here. I don't get paid that much from YouTube. So I never try to hound y'all about money and donations and stuff like that, but just know they're always appreciated. What you got, I appreciate it. I think she wants to be a freak, but is holding back. She's a rape victim. That makes a lot of sense too. That makes a lot of sense. I think I want to do her chart and then maybe like a synastry reading. So this is I'm gonna have to break it down into several parts because this is going to be a lot. It's a lot. Not gonna lie, it's a lot. Watch me give you 50 cents. Look, like I said, it's not mandatory. It's not a requirement. That would be 50 cents more than what I had before. It's really not that serious. Y'all can it's okay. I accept whatever. How would you describe 11th house Leo sun first degree? Well, let's stay on topic tonight. My brain ain't really there tonight. People need to stop turning to others for false advice. Anyways, like Kevin Samuel shit. Right. Well, I just realized I don't have my thing up. Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen. Cause I do have, I mean, I don't mind YouTube, but like a lot of YouTubers mention, YouTube takes a lot out of the donations. I think they take 40% on some pimp shit. So Cash App donations are ideal, but like I said, I'm not picky. Do whatever your heart tells you to do. Yes, I am going to finish part 2 of T.I. and Tiny's chart. I just been really busy, y'all. I've been, like I said, really grinding in terms of my readings and knocking those out. Then I got to make sure my Patreon family eats, you know. So I definitely got some content coming up for you guys, some new videos, actual uploads, not just live streams. We're continuing with the Moon series per usual, so y'all can stop cussing me out about it. I appreciate y'all for holding me accountable though, because y'all know me. Oh, we starting a new series. Like, whatever happened to the? It'd be like you did 2 videos, girl. What happened? So sad. Although I'm working on that, but so sad, so all over the place. Because it's not an excuse, but life has been so much better since I stopped having Christian beliefs. I bet. I bet. It's just a bunch of rules. It's a bunch of human doctrine. It actually gives me very Saturn. It's very limiting. It's all about punishment, right? Which is irony. The irony, because Jupiter is supposed to be more spiritual. But yes, YouTube greedy as hell. They put 3 ads in one video. YouTube is very greedy. Because I remember one day I tried to cash out some of my little donations, and it was like, I was like, wait a motherfucking minute. It's like if somebody send you $100, they will dead ass take 40 of that shit. Like Debo, like a pimp. Like, thank you. You be like, huh? You be like, wait, huh? What was it? Yeah, like a pimp. Natalie Nunn? You mean Crimson Chin? could try to make that work. Big Frida, Tiger, NLE Chopper, Lil Wayne. Yeah, we can find a way to get some of them on the list. She's a Sagittarius. Oh, you late to the chat. So I was saying she's a Sagittarius, Josie, which explains the hyper religiousness she got going on. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, YouTube is trash for that. It's very, especially when you're a smaller content creator, at least. And actually, I mean, the larger content creators complain about it. I'm pretty sure y'all see, where they be like, yeah, YouTube, they taking our money. Or even when it comes to the actual, your actual content, your uploads, and the whole Google AdSense of it all. It's real. That's why I'm glad this is just a platform where I actually have a service, like a business behind it. Because if I was just dependent on YouTube to get me by, I'd be looking like Derrick Jackson, filming in my car some damn where. Chyna McClain. Was that wrestler lady who died? The 2000 babies love him. They do love Lil Chopper, Lil Chop. Posted in front of the selling dope till the sun goes down. Take a bitch nigga right up off the map when I hit him with this whole 100 rounds. We don't hesitate to look at the blazing. I like that song. Walk them down. That's all I know though. That's all I know. I was like, okay. Come on, little baby chop chop. But that's what the children like, honey. They can't get enough of him. She was in Daddy's Girl. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you was talking. That was so off left. I was so wrong. Okay. I know he white, but we need one on. I don't mind doing white people. I did Mac Miller. So, like I said, we can make it happen over time. I said, it's I don't know if you know, maybe I'm telling my age, but I remember there was this white lady named Chyna. She was a wrestler. This is when reality TV first came out, like in the early thousands. She used to be on several reality shows. She was on drugs real bad. She ended up overdosing and dying. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. So y'all, I might be telling my age, but I remember her for sure. So you know what I'm talking about, Scorpio Forever. Okay, so y'all know what I'm talking about. She was like manly. She was very manly, like looking. She was very masculine looking, and she had a really bad drug addiction. Like after I guess her wrestling career had ended, and her life spiraled out of control, and she ended up dying like real young. She like overdosed. I don't know if she was on that heroin. I don't know what it was. It was so sad. She looked transgender. Yeah. One question: what are signs in a chart that could point towards a machine inventor? Well, when we're talking about inventions, you got to look at Uranus. Okay, Uranus, how it's aspected, like positively aspected. I would say maybe like Uranus, sextile Mercury or something. Look for Aquarian energy. Look for Leo energy. Yeah, she was on drugs, heavy drug use. As a matter of fact, let me see something real quick, y'all. Chyna wrestler. Let me look her up. She been there for a long time too. She died in 2016. Wait, is this the one I'm talking? Is this the one I'm thinking about? Yeah, it is. She was born December 27, 1969. That 27, she was reckless. That is actually that's a very self-destructive number. And Derrick Jackson was born on the 27th too, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, they could be very, very reckless. Post it in front of the. Hold on, let me see if I can pull her information up. Because I'm at this point, I'm curious. I'm curious. I want to know what's on your mind. Chyna. WWE. Or is it WEE? I ain't watch wrestling like that. WWE. Okay. WWE, December 27th. 1969. She was born in Rochester, New York. Okay, Rochester. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Let's see. She was a Capricorn sun. This year had Mercury at the 27th degree of Capricorn. She probably was dealing with a lot of depression. That number 25 breaks down to 7. The number 7 can deal with addiction. It can definitely deal with addiction. Pull out the pink Lamborghini just to race with Chyna. Sun and Leo in opposition to Neptune person. That's another narcissistic aspect. Sneaky. Or they could be the type that like to be coddled. Have a hard time taking accountability for the shit they do. Liars. Shady. Not really who they say they are. I could go on. So let's see. Oh guys, she was a Pisces North Node. There you go. There you have it. She has her Mars conjunct that Pisces North Node. Chyna does. So that's that. There you go. That's the drug addiction all day. That lifelong drug addiction. And with that, she got her Pluto conjunct that Virgo South Node. She probably popped pills. And these are the type of people who like to get. When I say drunk, it probably be blackout drunk or like fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Where they can take over their limit. You know, those type of addicts where it's like you always chasing that last high. So, and I think she died of an overdose, if I'm not mistaken. That's very commonplace with that aspect. Let me see. Let me look at her Wikipedia. I feel like she had an overdose with her chart. But let me check it out and make sure. She's found dead at her home, 46 years old. She died of an accidental drug overdose. I knew it. They said of natural causes. It wasn't natural. It was Anzaldo, who's Anzaldo, suggested that any overdose was accidental, claiming that she was prescribed drugs but tended to use them improperly. What did I say, y'all? Let me read that again. Initial reports stated that she probably died of an accidental drug overdose or natural causes. Anzaldo suggested that any overdose was accidental, claiming she was prescribed drugs but tended to use them improperly. That's a very big manifestation of that Pluto conjunct Virgo South Node. Them the type of people who will pop some pills. Like I said, they'll take way over their limit. Probably have something to drink with it. They probably tried to pump her stomach with that Pluto conjunct Virgo had to cut her stomach open or try to pump it or something. Well, like they can get fucking gone. Like they can be some of the most sloppiest, like just out of here. Like when they get fucked up, they like to get thrown. And she probably was in some type of chronic pain, which is why she needed those pills to begin with. It could be mental health issues. A lot of these people do have mental health issues, or they can undergo some type of injury where they, end up having to take these pills or take this medication, get hooked on it. Because as a Pisces North Node, especially with that Mars conjunct her North Node, these are people who are naturally prone, or people who, I should say, in this lifetime are going to be drawn towards that feeling of intoxication, where they feel like they have to feel that. Even with her Mars conjunct that North Node, you can look at that as her constantly chasing a high, right? That Pisces Mars conjunct her North Node. She was always the type of person to chase that next high. So yeah, that shit's fucked up. That's crazy. Makes all the sense in the world though. And then that number 27 again, her Pluto's at the 27th degree. Like I said, that's a very, very, very reckless degree. Very self-destructive. Then she got her Neptune at the 29th degree of Scorpio. That's drug addiction too. Probably even sex addiction. Oh, that's a lot. Saturn, second degree of Taurus. Leo moon. That's why she was so masculine. It's that Leo moon of it all. I could also deal with her being a wrestler. You could kind of even look at her North Node, that Mars conjunct her Pisces North Node, as that as well. Let me take a look at some of her other aspects. And she got her moon contraparallel to her moon is contraparallel to Neptune. Y'all, she might have been trans for real, especially with her Pluto conjunct that South Node. But in this lifetime, with that Mars conjunct her Pisces North Node, like she used makeup and other things to make her look like a woman. She could have actually been trans, guys. This news just in, especially with that Leo Mars contraparallel to Neptune. I mean Leo Moon, excuse me, contraparallel to Neptune. She could have been a nigga. Well, let me not say a nigga. Like she could have been born a nigga. I'm sorry, but is trans. Is a trans woman. Was a trans woman. Let me clean that up because I don't mean it like that. Yeah, your instincts are right. I mean, because she was really, really masculine, so was her voice. Yeah, I think she was. We're talking about Chyna the wrestler. Chyna the wrestler. Let's see. She had her son swearing at Chiron, which had to have been difficult. Her Chiron at the second degree of Aries. Once again, very self-destructive. I could also even deal with her having some anger issues, or she probably was the type to be in abusive relationships, and it just seemed like she lacked a lot of peace. You know what I'm saying? Lacked a lot of peace. I don't want her standing over my bed tonight, but she's like, she gonna hurt your ass. She's gonna come get your butt. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's worth mentioning that could stand out, possibly. Baby, keep on, and you don't stop. You got it going on. Yeah, that it's that Pluto conjunct South Node energy for me. Like, absolutely been a part of what resulted in that untimely death. That's so crazy. Pretty sad. I'm gonna save her charts. I was just curious. Kevin McCall. Oh, that crazy ass nigga. I think I did a Remy Ma reading before, but I will say she's one of those people who have several different birth years. So the one that I did, I don't know if that was like accurate. I had a lot of people in the comment section saying, "Nah, that was she. She was born in such and such." Yeah. She was. I think she was trans. You just looked her up. Yep. Unfortunately, she passed. Unfortunately, so I am tired, y'all. I'm gonna take my butt to bed. Hope y'all are doing the same. And just enjoy the rest of your night. Thank y'all for joining me. And like I said, be on the lookout because I do have some new uploads coming in the very near future. So make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until the next video, I holla. Bye.